everyone, my name is Miss Wild and today we're going to be looking at La Fiesta. This is a fun Latin swing piece, so a very different style to any other pieces we've done so far. But before we get started, let's just do our warm-up. So let's start first of all with our stretches as per usual. So first of all, let's stretch your arms right up to the ceiling and wiggle your fingers and take a good deep breath as you do this. Now, first of all, we're going to stretch over to the right. Take another deep breath. And now stretching over to the left and taking another deep breath. Lovely, and relax the arms. Okay, we're just going to roll the shoulders back. So first of all, let's roll them back 4 times. 1, 2, really nice circular motion, 3 and 4. And now we're going to roll them forwards as well. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Fantastic. Next, we're going to stretch our neck. So first of all, if you put your chin down to your chest, and we're going to then just slowly lift our chin up and face left. Just hold it here for a few seconds. You should feel the stretch down your neck here. If it's painful, just relax it or stop. Obviously, we don't want anything to be sore. Okay. And now back down to the center, down to your chest, and now looking to your right. And take a deep breath. Lovely. And back to the center. Now back down to your chest. We're going to stretch the back of our neck now, so looking down at the floor. And now we're going to look up to the ceiling. Lovely. Fantastic. Okay, stretching your arms out in front of you and clench your fists into a tight ball. And then release the fingers. Air piano down to the left, over to the right, and then back to the middle. Lovely. And now shake it all out. So check everything's feeling good. Again, nothing should be painful. These stretches are just a sort of gentle stretch just to warm our muscles up. But yes, nothing should be sore at any point. Good. Okay, so now let's just do our playing warm-up. So if you all could get your trumpets ready in rest position. So that's sitting with the bell of your trumpet sat flat on your leg, if you're sat down. If you're stood up, then you can hold your instrument in front of you like this. Fantastic. If you're sat down, making sure you're holding a really good posture, not leaning against the back of your chair, sitting towards the front of your chair with your feet flat on the floor and your back straight. Fab. Okay, so let's start our warm-up. As usual, I'm going to play something and then I'd like you to copy me. Okay, but first of all, let's set our pulse. This is our pulse. So if you could tap your feet along with this so we can really feel that beat going. Lovely. Okay, here we go. Keep the pulse going with your feet. So I'll play first. I'm going to start on bottom D, 1 and 3. Your turn. D, D, D. Me again. Your turn. Me again. Your turn. D, F, D. Let's do that last one again. Your turn. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to mix it up with some different rhythms now, and I'm also going to put some rests in this melody, so just listen really carefully. So here we go. Keeping with the pulse, tapping your foot. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to play it one more time. Your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, D, rest, 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 rest. E, D, D. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, D, rest, 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 E, D, D. Fantastic, okay, different melody now. Starting on F this time with the first valve. Okay, I'll do it again. Your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, F, E, D, D. And again. F, F, E, D, D. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. Hopefully you're all feeling really well warmed up and ready to play. Okay, so here we have it. This is the first page of our next piece, La Fiesta. Now, as you can see, this piece of music has 2 pages. So what we're going to do in this video is we're just going to look at the first page of music, and then in my next video I'll be looking at the second page. Okay, so this video today just looks at that first page. So in a moment what we'll do is we'll do this along with our practice method. So I know you all know this by now, but it is step number 1, saying the rhythm sounds. Step number 2, saying the notes, the name of the notes. Step number 3, sing and mime, so singing the notes while we do the valves. And then step number 4, by that point we're ready to play. Okay, but before we do that, I just want to have a look through this piece, because as you can see, we've got lots of extra detail written in this piece of music, and I just want to check through that we all know what's going on here. So first of all, let's talk about our time signature. So the time signature here is 4/4, which means that we have 4 crotchet beats in each bar. 4 crotchet beats, a crotchet beat lasting for 1 beat. Okay, so we're in 4/4, we've got 4 beats in a bar, so that's our first thing. Now, second of all, I'm going to jump to this thing here. Now we've got 2 dots here. Luckily for us, it tells us what it is. This is a repeat sign. Okay, so when you get the 2 dots like this halfway through a piece of music, it means you have to jump back to the beginning and repeat, do exactly the same thing again. Once you've done it for a second time, you then continue on with the rest of the music. Okay, so let's make sure we know that when we get to that, the 2 dots here, we repeat back to the beginning. The third thing, sorry, that I'd like to have a look at is the dynamics. So the dynamics being the sort of musical volume that we play at, but in music we call them dynamics rather than volume. And these can vary from really, really quiet to really, really loud. Now here we start off with this. This is MF, and this tells us that our dynamic means, in Italian, the Italian term is mezzo forte, which translated into English is moderately loud. Okay, so not at your absolutely loudest, but definitely not quiet either, just quite a confident, strong sound that doesn't absolutely, you know, it's not way too loud. Okay, so moderately loud that we begin with. Now, in our third line, we've got all sorts of dynamics here. We start with a P, which is piano, which means soft, means quietly. Then we've got this, what we call a sort of hairpin. We call this a crescendo, which means we gradually get louder. So this crescendo takes us across 1, 2 bars, and then we reach a forte at the end of it. So we reach a loud dynamic. So here we go from quiet, gradually getting louder until we reach loud. Then 2 bars later, we go back to piano, back to a really soft dynamic, gradually getting louder until we reach forte. Okay, so there are dynamics. Now the last bit of detail I want to talk about are these dots here on some of these notes. So the first 2 notes here, we've got dot, dot there, we've got dot, dot here as well, and we've got dot, dot there as well. Now these dots are called staccato, and again that's in music a lot of our sort of instructions are Italian terms. So staccato is an Italian word which means short. So it just means we need to play these notes really short, basically. Okay, so we've got staccatos here, here, and there. Okay, so they're some of the sort of details of this piece that we maybe haven't seen in some of the other pieces we've done so far. One last thing I will say actually is, as you can see, we've got a lot of rests in this piece, so we need to be really good at counting, make sure we're coming in exactly the right place. We don't play these first 2 notes and then skip straight to that note there and then get all the way through it. We've got to make sure we're really counting our rests. And as long as you can feel the really good pulse, just as we were doing in the warm-up, all the time in music you should be really feeling that pulse. If you can feel that, you can really count your rests along with it. Okay, but we'll go over that when we go through our practice steps. Fab. All right, so let's start with the first step. Step number 1, the rhythm sounds. Now, at the beginning, we've got 2 crotchets, 2 beats, 2 notes lasting for 1 beat each, and each of them has the rhythm sound of ta. So here, if this is our pulse, and these are crotchets, so our first bar is very simply ta, ta. And then we've got rest, rest, because we've got this minim rest here, which means that that rest lasts for 2 beats. Okay, so we've got ta, ta, rest, rest for that first bar. Now in the second bar, we've got another minim rest, so that our first 2 beats are silent, we're not playing anything, and then we've got a minim here, 2. So the second bar is rest, rest, 2. And then in the third bar, we've got ta, ta, minim rest again. Okay, and then following that, another minim rest, 2 beats, 2 empty beats, and then we play a minim, a 2. Okay, so I'm just going to say this first line through. I'll say it myself, and then we'll have a go at saying it together. Okay, but have a go, tap along the pulse with me so we can really feel this. So here it is, this is our crotchet beat, and I'll say the first line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, rest, rest, 2, ta, ta, rest, rest, 2. Okay, so let's have a go all together now. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, 2, 2, 2. Ta, ta, rest, rest, 2. Okay, fantastic. Okay, now let's have a look at the second line together. So as you can see, at the beginning of the second line, we've got 2 crotchets again, just the same as the first line. So in that second line, we've got ta, ta, 2 beats rest. Then we have 2 minims. So we've got 2, 2, and then in the third bar, we've got ta, rest, 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 and then a whole bar's rest, as it tells us here as well. So we've got 4 beats rest here. Okay, so I'll say this second line all the way through, and then again if you repeat after me. So I'll say it first of all. Everyone click or clap or tap or something the pulse so you can feel it. Here we go, the second line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta. 2, 2, ta. Rest, 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 rest. Very good, very good. It's really important to count those rests. I know it might feel a bit silly. You might be thinking, oh, well, the music's finished because I'm not playing anything. But no, the music carries on because we have our backing track to play along with. Or if you were playing with a group of people, if you were playing in an ensemble, other people might be playing their parts as well, and the music will be carrying on. So it's important to count those rests. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a repeat sign here. So I tell you what, let's do all of this now all together, the first and the second line. Okay, and this can be our repeat. Okay, so we're going to say it's all together, finding our pulse. Here we go, from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta. 2, ta, ta. 2, ta, ta. 2, 2, ta. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. Really good. Hopefully you're getting the hang of that. Okay, now let's have a look at our third line. So if we have a look at the notes here, you'll see that it's a note, a hollow note, so it doesn't have a sort of middle coloured in, but also it doesn't have a stem. So it can't be a minim, it is a semi-breve, which means that it lasts for 4 beats. It fills up the whole bar. We've got a semi-breve here, and we've got a semi-breve here as well. And this melody is repeated, so it's the same here. A semi-breve, 4 beats, another semi-breve, another 4 beats, and then we have a ta at the end of that, and the same here. Okay, Now, the rhythm sound for the semi-breve is ta, because it lasts for 4 beats. So we say ta, but we've got to do a sort of on each beat worth of that note. Okay, so I'll just say this third line through to you first of all, and then if you have a go. Okay, here we go. Me first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, ta. Rest, 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 rest. Ta, ta, ta. Rest, rest, rest. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Let's just have another go at doing that now all together. Okay, that third line. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, ta. Rest, 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 rest. Ta, ta, ta. Rest, rest, rest. Fantastic. Okay, hopefully you've all got the hang of the rhythm here now. If you haven't, if you're thinking you've not really got a clue, which I'm sure you have, but just skip back a few minutes and you can just go over this again with me. Okay, so that was step number 1, saying the rhythm names. Now the next step is saying the notes. So let's have a look here. Now we've got this first note in the bottom space, which is F. Okay, so we've got F, F at the beginning, both with the first valve. We know that F is the first valve on the trumpet. The next note we've got here, new note, G. So G is 1 note up from F. And we know that this is G because this clef here, the treble clef, is also known as the G clef. And if you have a look here, the cross in the middle of that circle in the treble clef is where G sits. Okay, you can see that cross there. If we follow that along, here is G. Okay, so it's in the second line up on the stave, and it's 1 note up from F as well. Okay, so we've got F, F, G, and back down to F, F, F. Now from F, F, we're now going down 1 note, and we're now on the bottom line, and this is E. We know this is E because it's 1 note below F. Okay, so we've got F, F, G, F, F, E, and now from E we go down 1 more step, and we're now sitting below the stave, just underneath it, we've got D. So we've got D, D. Now we're back up to G. We know this is G because that's where the cross is in the treble clef. We've got G, down 1 step to F, and now we're back at this note sitting underneath the stave, which is D. Okay, so let's just say that all together, these first 2 lines to begin with. Okay, so here's our pulse again. We're starting with F. Okay, all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, F. 4, 1, 2. G, F, F. 4, 2. E, D, D. G, F, D. Okay, let's just have a go at saying that all together again. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, F. G, F, F. E, D, D. G, F, D. Fantastic, well done everyone, really good. Okay, now let's look at our third line here. This note is on the bottom line, so we know that it is E. Now the next note is just 1 note up from E. We just had 1 in the line and now this is in the space. 1 note up, this is F. And now we're back to this note that sits just underneath the stave, it's D. Okay, so we've got E, F, D. And then the same here, E, F, D. Okay, so let's have a look at that third line together. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, F, D. Rest, 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 rest. E, F, D. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. Hopefully you're all feeling really comfortable now with those note names. We're now ready for step number 3, which is to sing and mime. Okay, so that means we're singing and we're miming, we're doing the valves at the same time. So let's just go over what valves we need for all of these notes. So we start with F, which is the first valve. Then our next note is G, which is open. Now we know that bottom C is open as well, but G is 5 notes higher than C. So we've just got to aim a bit higher when we're playing. Okay, so make sure when you're playing you can hear that G is above F rather than a much lower note. Okay, so G is open, we're back to F, then we've got E, which is 1 and 2, and then D, which is 1 and 3. Okay, so let's go over that again. So we've got F, first valve, G, open, E, 1 and 2, and D, 1 and 3. Fantastic. Okay, so let's say this all the way through, and I tell you what, I'm going to put the backing track on as well because it is fun with this one. It's great. I personally love it. So we'll have a go at singing and miming with the backing track, and I will count you in. There is a bit of an intro to this one. Okay, so here we go. Instruments at the ready to sing and mime. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, F, rest, rest, rest. G, F, F. E, D, D. G, F, D. Now remember to repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, F. G, F, F. E, D, D. G, F, D. Now we're carrying on. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, F, D. Remember that crescendo. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, F, D. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. Really good. I'm sure you all did really well there. Now, remembering, as hopefully you noticed, that even when we're singing, we're still trying to get in all the details that are written in the music that we want to achieve when we're playing as well. So obviously the staccatos here, F, F, trying to sing it really short, and when we play, we'll play it shortly as well. And then also the most important one, I think, getting this crescendo in, starting quietly on the E, and then getting gradually louder, F, D, and then ending with that forte D. Okay, we've also got, I've just realised I forgot to mention this earlier, that we've got this accent here as well. It's this sign that looks like that shape, okay? And that is an accent, which just means we just need to play that note with a bit of extra oomph, basically, a bit of extra force. So it's forte and it's accented, so a really strong note there. Good. Okay, so hopefully at this point we're all ready to play this. Now, again, as I've said before, at any point, if you're thinking, I don't really feel like I'm ready to play this through yet, then don't worry, you can pause it or go back or just take 5 minutes to just practice your 3 practice steps before we have a go at doing it all together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it through with you first of all, and then we'll have another go just with the backing track on its own, so you can play without having to listen to me play it as well. Okay, so here we go. Instruments first of all in rest position. And now ready in playing position. Here we go, and I'll count you in. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Carrying on. Well done, everyone. Really good. I'm sure you're all doing a really good job of this. It really is a fiesta. I'm having a great time. I don't know about you. All right, let's have another go now. I'm not going to play this time. I'll still help counting you in at the beginning, but this is now for you. So have a go at playing this now with the backing track without me. Okay, so here we go. Rest position first of all. Now ready in playing position. Here we go. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Repeat. Fantastic, everyone. Well done. Really good. Really good. I'm having a great time with this piece. I hope you are too. So keep practicing this one. Just looking at the first page for now, and always remembering your practice method. So step number 1, doing the rhythm. Step number 2, the notes. Step number 3, singing and miming. And then step number 4, ready to play. Always using the backing track as well. As a bit of extra oomph to your performance. Okay, so keep having a look at this, and then next time we will look at the second page of this piece, and then we can put it all together as a full performance. All right, so thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.